This was around the same time that I was actually going to quit making music.
Okay.
And this message said, hey, yo, you're famous in China. And I'm like, all right, what the f is this person talking about? They like bent me over, stuck a bunch of medicine in my ass. And I was like high as a kite on like whatever they gave me in the studio. It was a great time. I'm definitely a weirdo, for sure. I don't really know why. I used to just play video games. I grew up on the internet, and I think it kind of shaped how I am perceived and how I perceive the rest of the world.
You know how to use the chopsticks?
Wow, you really doubt my ability.
I am challenging you.
Yeah.
I am.
I've been to China like 10 times. Of course I know
10 times?
Yeah, of course I know how to use chopsticks. But the thing is I don't like
use it properly. But
I don't use it properly. I don't pinch.
You don't, oh, okay.
I just squeeze and it works. I will say once it gets to like a smaller item,
yeah,
it definitely gets a little bit more difficult. But
right. We were talking about WeChat because you started blowing up in WeChat. How did you find out? How did you know that? Oh my God, I'm popping in China.
I woke up one day. This was around the same time that I was actually going to quit making music.
Shoot. So that was. Sorry. You were saying you were about to quit music? When was that?
2017 reading week, February.
Reading week, you were in school?
Yeah, I was in school. I was in university.
Okay.
And
Thanks.
I ended up just reading a DM from somebody on Twitter.
Twitter, okay.
And this message said, hey, yo, you're famous in China. And I'm like, all right, what the f is this person talking about? And then I ended up looking into it because I was like, okay, it can't be this difficult to like find what's going on.
That was a random person. You don't know him.
Random girl.
Okay.
So then after that, I just started researching a bunch, and then I asked a foreign exchange student in my class, I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? And he's like, whoa, this is you? And I'm like, yeah. And then we became friends, and he kind of like guided me a little bit. And then the rest is kind of history.
He's a Chinese?
Yeah. He was from Shanghai, yeah.
Shanghai.
Yeah.
So he told you that, oh, you're popping right now in China. And then you started leaning into that world.
Well, he was just like, oh, I didn't know you even made music. And I was like, yeah, this is my music. And he's like, oh, crazy, like I've heard it before. And he's like, it's nuts that you go to school with me. And I was like, yeah, it's crazy. And then he was just like, here, I can help you, I can use like an old phone number of mine and we can like get you on WeChat. So,
wow. That's a pretty raw way to really get serious about this business.
Yeah, that was like the first time I noticed what I was doing was working. And then I was like, well, if people in China can enjoy my music this extensively, like I would assume most people elsewhere can enjoy my music as well. So I just never stopped after that. But I was genuinely going to like quit making music.
So yeah, go deeper on that. What was happening?
Nothing. That's the thing.
Oh, because nothing's happening?
Yeah, I mean, I was making like $10 a day from my music. And I was like
But
buying.
you were still in school.
But I was still in school.
So it's kind of like you have the time and also you were able to just try it out.
Yeah. I mean, while I was in school, I basically told myself, I was like, I'm going to give myself 5 years of working like religiously hard on, becoming a musician. And then my mom was like really disappointed that I was like going away to like hide from her, basically, because she was just disappointed that I was making music. Love her dearly, love you, Mom. But yeah, I traveled away. I went to get an education on the sole basis of like giving myself time and emotional space from not being validated by my parents to show them that I can do school, and then just got really lucky, honestly.
What was upbringing like? What was the childhood like?
It was really nice. I mean, I was never in the place where I was like freely available to go spend all my parents' money. I think they would give me like a $5 allowance every week. I would spend that on like either World of Warcraft I would get $5 of candy, and then World of Warcraft subscription per month was about $15. But I grew up in a household that was incredibly loving. I love my family. I think because I was homeschooled, we developed such like an intimate relationship with each other. And whenever I am with my brother or sister, I was just with my brother like 2 days ago. And we shot a cover, and
he's a photographer, right?
Yeah, he's an amazing photographer.
Younger brother or older brother?
5 years older. So he always like bullied me growing up, yada yada. But we have a really good relationship. I think he understands what I do creatively, and I understand what he does creatively. So we have like this like higher thought process of learning, or like higher enjoyment of each other. My sister is 2.5 years older than me, and she just had a 4-year-old. Well, I guess you
congrats.
can't really jump up to 4, but she has a little boy.
Now you're an uncle.
I'm uncle.
Are you a nice uncle?
I try to be, but unfortunately, I'm never really there.
Yeah.
So whenever I am home, I really try to be with him and give him as much attention as possible. He's always like sad when he's like, Uncle's going on a plane again. And I'm like, oh my God, wait, that hits so sad. And then, yeah, my dad was never really home. He would work about 80-hour weeks. So it's kind of, I would assume, where I got my, workaholic isms. And then my mom used to be a lab tech, and then she was teaching us until like grade 9, grade 8. And then we went away to high school, and then rest is kind of history. So, but we had a very tight-knit relationship with the family, and I think that gave me the ability to be like really confident in myself in whatever I do, because, when people love you dearly, you can love yourself. And I think I translated that through my music and just being myself, like the most authentic form of myself. And it's just easier than having to be somebody else, right? So,
Were you always this weirdo kid when you were young?
yeah. I think not having the social pressures of falling in line with whatever everybody else is doing to assume coolness made me just be weird, because I was like, well, I'm just gonna do whatever I like doing because I don't actually have any friends. So once I got to a point in my life, obviously I used to have my insecurities. I would always bail on dates if I had one pimple, because I was like, oh, it's a pimple, which is normal now. And when I have a pimple, I'm like, dope. That means I'm eating unhealthy, or that means I have too much testosterone in my body. But yeah, I'm definitely a weirdo, for sure. I don't really know why. I used to just play video games. I grew up on the internet, and I think it kind of shaped how I am perceived and how I perceive the rest of the world.
Why homeschool? Like, were you the only one, or like 3 kids?
No, my brother, sister, and I were all homeschooled.
Why was that?
I think my mom was just like, I want to spend more time with the kids.
Oh, spend more time with the kids.
Because, once you're past 18 years of age, like, everyone kind of moves out.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of does their own thing.
Right.
And it's like, kill 2 birds, 1 stone. Hang out with the kids. Whether or not she, like, purposely was like, I need to shape my kids and be workaholics, don't know. But, yeah. Everyone has their traumas from growing up, but it was definitely, looking back at it, like, I might even want to consider homeschooling my kids, because I'm going to be financially stable enough to, like, not necessarily work, so I'll just be with them all the time. But, and then the other side, it's like, I am terrible at education. So, I don't know if I'll be able to homeschool my kids.
Yeah. Can I learn from you? No, but you have a gift for language, I feel like. You pick up Mandarin
Okay,
so
well,
fast.
but that was because I was learning Mandarin for like 9 years, once a week, which is it's not enough. You need to like really like assimilate yourself in the culture and like experience culture and like find out the flow of like the slang and find out the flow of like how things are articulated in normal conversation. So whenever I am back in China, I'm way more fluent, well, not fluent, way more readily available to have like a 2-sentence dialogue. So, but it is kind of interesting that I ended up learning Mandarin and then blowing up in China. I was like, it all makes sense. It was a plan.
You started learning Mandarin before you blew up in China?
Way before.
Way before. So why did you make the decision you wanted to learn Mandarin? Oh,
because of my mom, yeah.
Yeah, because your mom.
My mom was just like, either you learn French or Mandarin.
And you chose Mandarin.
Yeah. Because I was like, well, French is like French. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like everybody in high school was learning French in elementary. And there was, specifically at the high school, once I went to high school, there was only French being taught, which I failed horribly because most of the people in my high school already were educating themselves in the language. And then I was just, honestly, I'm just not good at studying. Not good at, normal extra or like curricular activities. So It is what it is.
Do you like spicy food?
Love it.
What's your tolerance for spicy food?
At university, I would spend about $50 a month on food. And I would buy quinoa, sriracha, ground beef, spinach, coleslaw, and eggs, and that's all I would eat. And I would meal prep for a week with just having all of those cooked, throw it in a bowl, spray like this much sriracha, and then eat it. That's all I ate. Because I was like, I don't have enough money. I was paying for my education too. I'd work in the summer, I'd do doubles. So I would be working like night and days. And I just like had to fend for myself. So I was like, well, I'm getting all the food groups I need. I don't really need much more than this to function. Obviously I'd go out and party and eat poutine and this and that. But yeah, I love sriracha so much. I love spicy food. It got to a point where I ended up getting like a stomach ulcer because I put sriracha on everything. Like one of my favorite salad dressings ever is like a balsamic vinaigrette dressing with a little bit of like a dab of mayo, Dijon, and sriracha, and you mix it up and you put it on, and it's spicy, like spicy salad. So I definitely became a little bit too addicted to it, and I paid the repercussions of eating sriracha every single day, but I'm a huge fan.
I feel like you can handle spice better than I do, because when I'm eating something spicy, especially nowadays, because Western food is not that spicy, the next day I'll just have my ass will just have a hard time. Do you ever have that feeling? You know that, right? Especially probably when you have hot pot.
Oh yeah. I remember the first time I was in China, I ended up going to Hot Pot in Chengdu with a bunch of my fans.
Okay.
They were like, yo, let's take you to Hot Pot. I was like, all right, it, why not? Sure.
I went to elementary school in Chengdu. You've been to my city.
And they were like, it's really spicy. I was like, okay. And then they were like, you're drunk. Drink it. So I took a scoop out of like the really Sichuan spicy.
Yeah.
I swear, okay. I normally can handle spice, but that ruined my mouth for 3 days.
3 days.
It was like terrible. It was, never again am I ever gonna do that. Obviously, I was just like a drunk 23-year-old, 22-year-old, and I was like, let's do it. Let's impress the fans. Bad idea.
What about down there? Okay, I mean, mouth is not a problem, but what about down there? The next day.
I mean, the first time I ever went to China, I remember everyone was like, yo, you might have like gut problems because you're not used to some of like the bacteria and some of like the, I guess, parasite change. Because in Canada and North America, my gut is so used to this type of food. So first 2 times I went out there, I got incredibly sick, like brutally sick, and then I got type 2 bronchitis the second time I went out. I fainted on stage and then was rushed to the hospital. And they gave me a bunch of pills. The next day I was in like Xiamen, and I was writing a song with this dude that was on Rapid China. And I went to this hospital. They like bent me over, stuck a bunch of medicine in my ass, and I was like high as a kite on like whatever they gave me in the studio. It was a great time.
Wow.
Really cool.
That sucks, yeah, but that's quite some experience. Wow. I hate to say this, but I really need to, I'm not saying this to kiss your ass, but I really need to say this. Your overall look and also your style, and especially those glasses, just remind me of someone that I used to hook up with.
Jesus.
When I moved to Canada. That's
What was his name?
I can't. We're still talking, and also he's still.
It sounds like a toxic relationship.
We were friends. We were
okay.
friends forever, and just at one point we hooked up a little bit. And he has the exact same glasses.
Really?
Yes. So I know that the glasses are from your grandpa. I think. How about tell me the story behind that?
So I ended up needing glasses in high school because I'm like definitely dyslexic and I have astigmatism. And I ended up I used to have like these big like, I don't know how else to say it, like Jeffrey Dahmer glasses. And I was like, I don't like them that much. And then my dad was like, why don't you just take these and swap the lenses out? And I've had the exact same lenses for like oh, I don't know, like 9 years. And my prescription is definitely a lot stronger now, but I kind of just use these because they sit on my head pretty nicely, and they're my grandfather's. So, and then this is my grandmother's chain. So I have a piece of my family with me rolling around just for like sentimental value. But yeah, that's basically it. It was nothing really to it. My dad was like, "Do you want these lenses?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And so I have my grandma and my grandfather on me all the time.
All the time. Oh, that's so lovely. That's so sweet.
Yeah, it's really nice. I'm always traveling, right? So it's nice to keep family close.
Yeah, I'm surprised to know that you're very close with your family.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I feel like you are pretty independent and also confident in your music. So it seems like you are always traveling and away with your family, but it's good to know that you're very close with your family.
Like the end goal with all of this is move back home and just hang out with my family as much as I can.
You still live in Vancouver?
Technically, yeah, but not really. I'm never there, but technically on paper, I live in Vancouver, yeah.
With the family? Still with the family? The same house?
I used to own an apartment. I sold it because I was just literally never there. And whenever I would go home, I would just travel home and hang out with my mom and dad. So I was like, well, what's the point of owning a place that I just don't do anything in?
True.
And, you know, I'm never there. So on paper, yes, I live with my parents.
Is it true that you're very cheap? Still?
Still? Unfortunately, I'm not cheap anymore because that's just the nature of how business is ran. Like the bigger you get, the more money you spend. It's just kind of like a correlation. But I will still walk everywhere and not take an Uber just to save money. It runs deep in my genes. I don't know why. I think growing up, my dad's an immigrant parent, and he was just like, make sure you have money and put food on the table for the family and a house over your head. That's the most important thing, and it's just like a sense of urgency or a sense of desire to be safe. And I think he distilled that early on. And my brother always says, he's like, Alex definitely has a psychological problem with money. Like, we need to figure it out. And I'm like, Ed, shut up. But I think it's better than the other side. Because if I was spending money all the time broke, then it would actually suck. Where at least when I treat myself to something nice, I'm like, I did this, I made this money myself, and I'm proud of myself for buying this for myself. So after every tour, I buy myself an egregiously expensive piece of clothing from Marnie because it's just fucking so expensive. But it's like an art piece, so in the future I'll have like a full rack of Marnie that's like of generations and different seasons and different styles. So I'm excited to look back in the future. It's gonna be crazy. I have like 10 boxes filled with fan paintings of myself, which may or may not be incredibly conceited, but like it's cool that my fans are that artistic and they love me that much to draw me, right? So just memorabilia.
What's the most expensive thing you've ever bought recently? Still on the cheap topic.
Okay. Is it for my business or for myself?
For yourself, personally.
I think about 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
I bought myself.
Recently.
No, that's pretty recent.
That's pretty recent.
This
oh
is
my
like
gosh.
the most expensive thing I think I've ever bought myself. Actually, no, it was.
The watch?
I bought a 1972 Patek, but I don't wear it because it broke, which was $13,000. I don't know why I bought it because I don't wear it. But other than that, it was either this watch, which was like, it's a 1958 Rolex, which was like $3,600, or a Rimowa bag.
3,600.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the most expensive things I bought for sure.
And this was also years ago?
This was 3 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, I never spent any money on myself.
Certified you're really...
But then I'll turn around and spend an absolute metric ton of money on a tour because
Absolutely.
it's fun.
Yeah.
But I don't treat myself to anything. Maybe like 15 massages in the time of like 3 weeks. Probably more expensive than $200, $3,000, yeah, probably. But like other than that, like, yeah, no.
Oh my gosh, now you're making so much money just to indulge yourself a little bit. Have fun, live live your life.
I do live my life.
How? Without spending a dime?
Eating.
Eating, right. That's one thing.
Walking.
Walking.
I spend a lot of money on coffee.
On coffee? How much can you spend on coffee?
At least like 2 a day, and that's like, that's at least $15-ish.
Oh, that's a lot. $15 on coffee, that's expensive. That's like indulgent.
Yeah, I know. I'm
gosh,
balling on a budget.
Right.
I just think that spending money doesn't actually make you any happier.
That's your take regarding money.
It really doesn't make a difference in my life. If anything, it just makes me more depressed. Because I'm like, I just spent $2,000 on a bag. Why do I own this? Why am I falling victim to consumerism? And then I think about all the minutia of it, where I'm just like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I don't have any money. I don't have any money. And then it just keeps on like spiraling.
But now you do have so much money. You're doing so great.
I will buy a house.
That's
I will buy a house soon. I think within the next year and a half. I was contemplating looking at this house like pretty close to my parents' house in Vancouver.
That's very loving. That's very sweet.
Well, I also want my sister
Yeah.
lives a block away from my parents' house. And then my parents and my sister would live like 6 blocks away from this other house. But it's an Arthur Erickson house. So the architect, the Danish architect that used to live in Vancouver has like a bunch of prize houses that he's built, and they're just literal art pieces. Like there's like a koi pond, and then there's like a perfect place for a studio downstairs that the glass around the studio is covered by water because it's looking up through the koi pond. It's so gorgeous. And I definitely want a house that is very me and very authentic to like being cute and quaint, but also comfortable and not just like a cut and paste house. So that'll be the next massive purchase for sure. Probably, hopefully in a year or so.